A little bit of breaking news in the professional wrestling world tonight in the Now I've Heard and Seen Everything department. A story about Sid Vicious, possibly known as Psycho Sid. I guess he did not make an independent wrestling show in Ohio tonight, and the reason he did not make it was because of President Donald Trump's new travel ban. We're going by the Absolute Intense Wrestling's Facebook page when they said that Sid did not get on his plane this morning, and I guess it's because he told them that Donald Trump's travel ban prevented him from boarding his flight to Cleveland because he has an unpaid speeding ticket. He says he doesn't have his passport, so he can't travel even throughout the United States as a U.S. citizen. They did not seem to buy it, and they said they were going to be playing the phone call in a later thing. They're going to try to find a replacement for him tonight, but I do feel bad for them. They said they called him a few times. I guess they heard he didn't get on his plane. They couldn't call him. He wouldn't answer his phone, but then they used Swoggle's phone to call him, and he answered that. And I just thought that was kind of hilarious because it's like, so Sid's getting all these calls, I'm guessing, on his cell phone and not answering, seeing this from, ooh, these are the guys I just no-showed, so I'm not going to get it. And at 9:15, all of a sudden, hey, my little buddy Swoggle's calling. I should see what he's up to. I mean, I didn't realize Swoggle and Sid had a relationship. Maybe everyone just likes talking to Swoggle. I mean, if you've ever talked to Swoggle, he is awesome. He's funny. He's very intelligent, and he's he's fun to talk. He's fun to talk to. He's got a lot of good information. So maybe that was a good ruse, and getting Swoggle to using his phone. Everyone wants to talk to Swoggle. If Swoggle ever wanted to call me, I would pick up there. But using Donald Trump as your excuse, and especially with Donald Trump's history in the wrestling world, that's kind of funny. I don't know what Sid wasn't a part of WrestleMania 4 or 5, which would have been part of Donald Trump, and he also wasn't a part of WrestleMania 23, which is the other one that Trump was a part of with a haircut match with Vince McMahon. But I wouldn't be surprised if they cross paths at some point. Ironically, I actually always liked Sid. I met him once, and he was very nice. I met him at a I believe it was Wrestle Reunion out in Los Angeles. It was just a basic wrestling fan fest. He was a vendor guest, so it was just a autograph charge per photo with him. I bought whatever and went up to him and talked to him for about 45 seconds, maybe a minute. I thought he was very nice. He talked to me for a while. He wasn't just, get over here and do it. The picture turned out really nice. He posed for the picture. I don't remember exactly how. I think it was maybe with a thumbs up or something. Yeah, I was very happy with the picture, very happy with the way he treated me, very happy with how much time I got with him, even at a busy event. So my one experience with him was very positive. I guess there's other promoters there's a promoter here in Minnesota who's very well respected, who I believe he got no-showed though by Sid as well. So you just kind of wonder what's going through Sid's mind sometimes, why he decides to no-show, because eventually he's going to get on this list of no one's going to want to do business with him anymore. But at the same time, people already know his history of no-showing, and like it even says, this was kind of their biggest fear was you book Sid and then you hope he shows up. And I guess he's a big enough name that they want to do this. He's someone new. It's like a lot of people haven't met Sid and they want to get the chance to. So when you can bring him to your independent show, you will. It just kind of makes me wonder, though, all the work it takes for these independent shows. And I mean, is it worth it when you get these wrestlers in? They usually have to buy the plane tickets and pay the appearance fee, possibly put them up in a hotel for a night or two as well. How much are they actually getting back from the fans? How many more tickets are they getting? Where does the money go that they get for the autographs and photos? Is there just a minimum guarantee? And it seems like the wrestling companies are always the ones taking the risks, while the wrestlers really don't have a risk when they come and show up. And then at the same time, the wrestlers do this. But there's only a handful of wrestlers like Sid. He's not a WWE Hall of Famer. I have no idea what his relationship with the WWE right now is, but from a talent standpoint, I would have to put him in the WWE Hall of Fame someday. He main evented 2 WrestleManias, WrestleMania 8 and WrestleMania 13, I believe. And he also main evented at least a couple things in WCW as well. So yeah, he's not a. He certainly has some talent. There's that famous scissors incident with Arn Anderson, which was always great. It seems like most of the wrestlers took Arn Anderson's side on that, but I guess that came from because Arn Anderson said he didn't ever make a dime in the business. But if you really look at it, Sid was great for what he was used for. A great villain back in WCW where he first started. He was a great villain, just a monster villain. He came to WWF at the time, right around WrestleMania 8, saved Savage and Elizabeth from Jake the Snake and The Undertaker at their wedding, and then was kind of the good guy, but that didn't last for very long. Got jealous of Hogan, end up with Hogan and him in the co-main event of WrestleMania 8, and he did play such a better bad guy than good guy. The Psycho character eventually built up with him and Shawn Michaels, and then eventually back in WCW for one last run as well. So it's just very interesting, though, that this happened. So I thought, yeah, to use Donald Trump's... Oh, and the one more thing we learned on this was Donald... We actually did a little investigating ourselves, and it appears that... I'm assuming he's an American citizen, which I haven't heard anything else, and he should have been able to travel with a speeding ticket on his record unless he has a bench warrant out on him, and that would come from if he had the speeding ticket, was supposed to go to court for it, didn't show up at court, and then had a bench warrant or something out on his record. He might have a little bit of travel restrictions, but it doesn't sound like that's the case in this time. But there also note on Wikipedia, it mentioned a bunch of years ago that's when they found a little marijuana on him too, and he was driving without a license at that time, so maybe he has some traffic violations that add up or something like that. So like I said, he's always been good to me, but I feel bad I love independent wrestling. I know these guys do such a good job of trying to put out the best product for us fans, and love going to the shows. Love the independent wrestling here around Minnesota and Iowa. Give a shout out to Steel Domain Wrestling. Give a shout out to Impact Pro Wrestling down in Des Moines, Iowa. Two great organizations, and love going to their shows. And they sometimes get a big name every once in a while, and I know what a big boon it is for them. So, but it's kind of funny. Sid says can't travel. Donald Trump's travel ban does that. So it's just with all the ties to wrestling and everything that's going on, kind of a funny story this morning. But we hope they found a replacement, and we'll be curious to see what became of this at the end.